So, to be fair, historically, it doesn't seem like OCG have an edge on this map. Hard to say. Could be different. They have a different team compared to the last stage, but we haven't seen really, Bone or GXD. We've seen GXD kind of pop off here and there, but Bone hasn't exactly come into fruition just yet.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Connor bringing up, obviously, the Bone Zone, but really the entries on the side of OCG. We all need to watch out and keep an eye on that, because that might well very be the missing piece of the puzzle for Oceanus Gaming. But moving forward to the bans, it's a Thatcher ban to start things off on Chalet. Nothing all that crazy, and for the second ban coming on through, it's Chalet. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a Flores because of the utility at disposal, the shields that are often on this map. And yep, there it is. Flores off the board.
Yeah, Flores is a big one. It makes sense to get rid of Flores, especially for those, those attacks when he comes through with a, top of fireplace. Those shields are always on library stairs and, fireplace, top of fireplace, a black top. You'll see, of course, Valkyrie Bandit as per usual. Nobody wants to deal with those cams and deal with the aggression intel given to the defense. Now we go on to the last ban from OCG. What's it gonna be?
Something crazy? Something wild? No, it's not wild. Okay, never mind. Not bad. Thought maybe we'd get adventurous, but this is a pretty standard ban phase for Chalet, all things considered, and a pretty standard ban phase in general. Maybe the Flores is a little bit different, but even he is a strong up that will get a ban every now and then because of that fact. And on a map like Chalet, as you said earlier, those are Terror drones, very useful for clearing out positions, and not having the Omaya on the board will make holding some of those positions, like the top of library stairs or on top of the piano outside of office. Both those positions will be a little bit more difficult to hold without the Wamais in hand. Of course, you can still put shields there, and shields are still powerful, but it just won't be as easy for OCG.
Well, let's see how they do in this master bedroom office defense from OCG. Starting us off on the top floor, we'll see what Honor's game plan is going to be. And of course, we see two shields, both smoke and frost being brought out like you said before. So those shields, how long can they exist? They at least have the Rooney gates, the laser gates, and the ADS to try and stay them off for as long as possible. OCG, there's not really a lot of C4s in hand. Only one in hand is Zonkers. Is he going to be playing below, or is he going to just stay on site? Because that could be the only real way they can deny a plant with that C4 and the 3 smokes on the side of GXD.
We will often see on the site an extension down below into kitchen, maybe sometimes also playing inside a trophy, though some teams, they just like to sit in kitchen, while some like to sit in kitchen and also have a little bit of presence in trophy just right on the opposite side of that wall. Really depends, but right now it doesn't appear that's something that OCG are considering, unless they rotate down late and suddenly start dedicating a lot more utility and reinforcements down there than they are right now. I imagine it's not going to be all too crazy. Nova is down there currently making some holes in the trophy wall, so could see him play there, but he's not Zoinkers with that C4, so he'll mostly... Oh no, Zoinkers with the C4 is down there. Didn't even notice, so they will be playing down below, but there's not a lot of utility dedicated to it.
Yeah, this could be a C4 below. There's some reinforcements, that's really about it. This Electro Claw 2 on the office wall will probably be dealt with, below if they go for it, but it seems like this may be a Solarium take. Most of these members are outside garage, outside the Solarium window to start off, and if this is going to be they control, they have to deal with this, make sure they can clear trophy, and make sure they don't get shot by Zorkers playing inside a kitchen. No, there's nobody playing Owl, nobody playing really by the doorway into Master, so there should be no real issue if they jump through the windows, though GXD is creating a shield that could play off of that points kind of toward those windows. It's kind of hard to see over there if they depend on what window they're on, so interesting. OCG isn't really, there's no real aggression to really stop this Solarium push so far. Instead of just droning off at the moment. The first minute's gone by, just making sure what can they figure out, what's the droning, what's the intel game.
There is that C4 down below in the hands of Zoinkers, but they have Axe at Trophy Window to deny that very play. If he opts to rotate inside, he should be found by the Sledge if the angle is favorable. But so far, the C4 goes out, not stopped by Axe, but it stops itself. It goes wide, doesn't find anybody, despite the two attackers currently playing inside of there. And what a two-pick that could have been. Losing a Hibana or a Yana could very well hurt their overall utility game, but the only thing lost is utility on the side of OCG. And now a man in the hands of Devil, and Zoinkers as well. A second peek comes out from Nova playing for the trade, but Oreo's got one on the site, one outside, and the man advantage for Honor.
That's a great 2-pick for the Oreo on the Nomad. He at least gets those kills, at least gets 2 kills on that window, and that does create other angles. So at least they got rid of that window control though, so they can rotate between site with enemy watching from the big window, but there's still so much control in the hands of Honor. And there's another kill for Bone though. Bone evens it up. Great shots onto Zofia of Surf, but he is low HP at this point. What other denial do they have besides the smokes at this point to deny them pushing into Master and getting that plants off though? Nobody's playing Master anymore. I don't believe there should be some, at least an entry into the closet. Yes, there is. Pox makes his way in, starts to plant down right behind the bed. Furter's got his cover. I think someone's watching bathroom as well. Yep, they're watching. There's the cover. Smoke comes out, but it's too late. At this point, these members have this down. Pox kills GXD. There goes your smoke. It's now Nova and Bone try and make their way in the sights. Bone looks through, can't find him at the moment. Nova looking over towards the bedroom, can't see the one right below the black box, does see Pox at the last moment. Pox wins the fight, Bone gets the refrag, and Bone's now in a 1v2 with little HP left. He only needs 2 shots, and he's probably dead in this engagement. Yep, it's Fur to finish him off, and Honor to take the first round.
First round going the way of Honor, and a fairly clinical execute, all things considered. Well, clinical is usually associated with like, oh my god, that was unbelievable. They put on a clinic. That's the saying, of course. But for Honor, it really wasn't too crazy. Aside from that opening kill of Oreo, peeking in, trench door, air jab going off, knocking Zoinkers down on the floor, he gets that kill. We have a nice little flashy beginning, but beyond that, it was pretty standard siege from Honor. After that C4 got wasted, open up some walls, held their angles, cleared some utility. Then they're like, okay, we have the angles at our disposal. Let's just Pox, go in, get that bomb down. Okay, we lost one, but we still have the coverage necessary, so not a big deal. Pox gets the bomb down, gets a kill coming off of it, and since they still have the angles at their disposal, OCG are losing in the man count. Not much they can do at that point. I would like to hype it up, but frankly, from Honor, that was how to attack Office 101 from a Solarium side, at least.
It always kind of reminds me of like Bank. Remember back in the basement, they just kind of waited out the utility from the side of OCG.
Yeah. On top of that, the smokes, if we're talking about comparisons to Bank and utility, smokes on Bank, especially on a site like Archives in the basement, very powerful. The smokes there from OCG, kind of going wide sometimes, not exactly having the biggest impact.
I'm not sure if they had the intel where the plant was going on, but unfortunately they didn't have the correct utilities to deny Pox from planted by the bed, and unfortunately they couldn't really rotate back into bad room because they'd lost control of it at that point. If they walk right into the the line of sights of Furter who was playing it, they were going to die immediately, which did happen. The smoke of GXT tried to walk back in. He tried to throw a smoke in, got one smoke, got too far. That was wide, like you said, and then he got fried trying to push back into sight. So unfortunate for OCG to lose their first defense, but it's Chalet. It's to be expected. This is an attack side map, and most teams have pretty well done attacks here. It's pretty easy to get into sight. So we'll go on to our next site of billiards and or games and bar. Of course, they're playing upstairs and study, and these are the shields we talked about, playing a black top, playing a fireplace or pop fireplace, and study stairs. So these angles are going to be the big part that Honor have to deal with first.
One of the angles that'll be the first to sprout up in the face of Honor is Axe currently contesting Zoinkers playing inside a library. The moment I say that, he drops down, so no angle anymore that Axe has to contest. Of course, we'll still have to drone it out, try and find some intel. But right now, there's actually nobody playing directly on pillar. Nova and Bone were both up top. Nova's now rotated down. It's just Bone left on this top floor hold. And even him, he's contesting a long angle, but the attackers have a lot of freedom at their disposal to move inside. They're still doing their due diligence, crossing all their T's, dotting all their I's. If they were doing what I said, they'd be doing everything wrong. But they're opening things up, maybe spending a little bit more time than they need to, but they have everything under control. Now that Nova's rotated back up, Honor are progressing nonetheless.
Yeah, it seems like they've lost control of library, so the members who are playing those shields are backing off now because they don't want to get pinched out from the library take. And there are members by books. There's members inside office. A peek from the frost. Oreo's waiting for it, but he'll back off more as he just pre-fires that angle. But Honor at this point, they're kind of waiting. They're expecting some aggression from the defense. Nobody's doing it. There's the aggression from Bone, actually. Great angle onto the window into the library. Gets Axe. And whether or not they can't go for his refrag because nobody's entered the building. So Bone gets away with that scotch-free. And now at this point, they're still waiting. No aggression, no push from Honor whatsoever.
Furter's still biding his time, trying to find the head of the Mozzie, but while he bides his time and eventually gets the kill onto the Arudi, forgive me, it's still Bone and OCG as a whole coming alive. A 2v4 as Honor have yet, as you said, Benny, to enter the building. Sir finally makes his way inside, but does he have intel on Bone? He's got a 3k so far, and now he does, at the very least, realized what I projected into reality. Furter's trapped in the 1v4, got a kill from this position. That's the only one he'll get. Zoinkers gets 2, Bone for 3, OCG come alive in round number 2.
That was an interesting round. They cleared out the members upstairs in the library, but Honor didn't act on it. Nobody jumped through any windows. I think there was a drone knowing where Bone was, but nobody jumped through anywhere. I guess if you jump through the big window into sight, someone below you could get that kill at the C4 or shoot you from below, so they want to jump through that window. But otherwise, there was no push. Nobody jumped through the fireplace window upstairs. Nobody went through and tried to, get rid of the renegade on the books window and maybe try to pressure Bone inside of books. Nobody tried to push office, so I don't exactly know what Honor's game plan was that round.
Well, whatever it was, they were not able to implement it as quickly. It was clear they wanted to come from library, but beyond that, yeah, they just stalled out a little bit. Next side up, it's a floor down from the first bomb site OCG defended. They were master bedroom office. They moved down exactly one floor in the exact same spot into kitchen and dining. So for right now, what can we expect? What exactly does a defense like this look like? Well, it's actually pretty standard for Chalet because a lot of these defenses they're going to be very similar to from one to the other. They'll extend up into master bedroom. The Runa Gate, a Runa Gate's placed to burn intel. Frost mats as well with that deployable shield. Also a long angle. Frost mats on the floor. Really, this is just going to be another standard extension into master bedroom and office. Very similar to how this side is defended, meant to waste time. That's likely what we'll see. OCG aren't getting too crazy with it, and now it's incumbent upon Honor to try and clear this out, which they struggled last time.
So big thing here is the fact that, well, Honor last time they at least attacked this master site, they went for, a Solarium push. They make sure they can push right into Solarium, and OCG had no problem with letting them do it, but because the site is downstairs inside of, dining and kitchen, I don't believe OCG is going to let them take control of Solarium that easy. Like, I just hope they don't. Axis straight got into the side window on Trophy, making sure nobody's coming down Trophy stairs or is playing inside of Trophy for the moment. And Ferda and another are droning out Trophy and Solarium, making sure who's around if they can just jump through these windows once again. There is, of course, the laser gates and Rooney on these windows, but they can easily burned out by flashes, especially on one of the members like Pox who has flashes, so they can just jump right in after that. And of course, having that Nomad 2 is big, but it looks like one of those air jabs will get destroyed by GXD, who's holding the window into Trophy. Otherwise, not much has happened.
No, nothing all that crazy. Zoinkers hasn't gone for a C4 yet. Axe down below holding the same angle we saw last time. It's the same Solarium push from Honor. This was something we saw in their Parabellum game. It's something that did cost them eventually later on down the line. They would not vary up their attacks all that much. And it's the same thing here. They're not varying up their push all that much. No C4 this time. Zoinkers keeping it back for a later day. Though it's Bone, who's been really feeling himself this game, is able to get the opening pick. That's one thing I want to say about Bone real quick. Bone is a player who's very aggressive. He was very aggressive in T3. When he got to CL, it looked like he was playing a lot more reserved, a lot more scared in some occasions. But this game, 6-1 so far, think that Bone we saw in weeks 1 and 2 is not here in week number 3.
Is this the fabled Bone Zone? Is that what I've entered? I'm so confused.
I don't know.
I've never
not going
been
to
in the
jinx
Bone
it.
Zone. I'm so confused. I'm so scared.
I've heard tales, and it's not a fun place to be.
Oh, I'm scared now. Bone looking to jump out that, that window into the balcony, trying to get a kill, but otherwise Honor. Oh, and Ferda gets slammed by Devil. Great shots from Devil into the bathroom. Sees one of the big window, can't make the shots. Oreo will deny that. But so far, OCG are in the man up as they're trying to push this, push upstairs, get rid of this roam, and it's been a costly Axe so far. As I say, that Axe is dead.
So is Pox. It's just Oreo left. He was the playmaker at the beginning of round number 1, and now he's last alive in round number 3. As it sometimes seems Oreo could find himself in as the last one alive as the flank watch. He smokes GXD on the entry in his side, but it takes a lot of health away from him in order to make that happen. There's one currently playing top of West Main, but now Zoinkers is down. Okay, surely that won't happen, and surely it will not. Bone's able to get that kill. Looked for about half a second. Oreo might do the impossible, but there's Bone to rotate over, land a nice pre-fire, and give OCG the lead.
So again, I feel like Honor are stalling. They took control of Solarium, but that was really it. That's the entire round for Honor. That's the only thing they did, and then they start getting aggressed on by OCG, specifically Bone, who got that first opening pick because of just the stall from Honor. They take that first minute, they join out, take control of one room, and that is it. This can't be the theme from Honor if they want to take these rounds, especially on Chalet.
It's also odd on a map like Chalet. Once you get that initial control, a lot of the time for many of these sites, you only need that initial control on the site to move on forward. For example, on Master Bedroom and Office, if you're taking over from library side, once you have that, if you're able to clear out Piano, you're really in a spot for an execute. If you're taking over from Solarium, as we saw, all you really need is that Solarium control, and once you have the angles at your disposal, depending, of course, if you have the manpower or not, you're able to get an execute. But that go around, things are a little bit different, a little bit more complex. Honor enter from the top floor, and again, as you said, they just stall out. They get to go back to Master Bedroom and Office, and because the site was on the second floor, they didn't have to worry about moving down below. Axe was able to minimize Zoinkers, and Zoinkers was also able to minimize Zoinkers by missing his C4. So they didn't have as much to worry or deal with. So maybe for Honor, they're able to do that, but if OCG are also getting aggressive, as you said, Benny, and Bone is starting to feel himself as well, I don't know. Could be a nice OCG comeback, which would make us all lose in the predictions, but would certainly be nice to see.
Definitely. I mean, I think this time, so OCG, like they did before, if they can deny that big window pressure, like Oreo, because Oreo was big that round, if they can deny that and then get picks on Honor, who is stalling out when it comes to this push, if they do stall out again on this Solarium take, Devil also putting that castle barricade is big there. If they can keep control of their site and they can just stay on these one-sided pushes and deny and just take fights with Honor, who are pushing into disadvantaged fights, they could win this round because Honor just aren't making very big pushes. That first round they won that is really based on just getting kills when they need to. And really, if they just keep playing like that, OCG could take advantage of that later in the round. We'll see what happens, though. It could be a different take here from Honor. As Honor, though, takes the first pick as Surf just pre-fires at the bathroom. Unfortunate.
Still a great angle for Surf to hold, and probably could have found Devil just on the angle anyway, but Devil's cut down on the pre-fire through that barricade. And that aggression that looked like it might very well stop the Solarium push for Honor. It's now gone, and it's getting worse by the second. Zoinker's found down below. Can't even use his C4 that time. Nova takes a fight on that trophy window, rips a C4, but it goes a bit short. Well, it's actually not even blown up. He's just sitting there to try and scare Axe, but Pox is just able to take advantage of the situation, cut down the Mozzie. Now it's a 2v5. Honor, they're taking this even more dominantly than they did last time. They've cleared out up top. They've cleared out down below. As Ferd is making his way in the site, likely trying to lead Pox in, usher him in to get the bomb down. It's just on Bone and GXD, the two newest pickups, to try to get OCG their third round in a row. Bone is inside a clause, and it doesn't appear they know his position, but now that his brother in combat has fallen, he's over. He'll get one, but not the second. His Axe is there for the refrag. A 1v5 is a tough situation to get out of. Honor, they don't get a tough round. They get an easy one at that.
That was a very different round. I talked about aggression, talking about maybe taking advantage of Honor, where OCG might have been a bit too quick on that. Might have jumped the gun on taking advantage of Honor when Honor wasn't even in that position to be taken advantage of. Surf gets that first, opening pick, which is just unfortunate timing. He just didn't know he was going to get shot. Devil didn't know he was going to get shot in the back of the head through a barricade. Unfortunate for Devil. And at that point, there are other members downstairs who were trying to aggress on people like Axe, who playing Trophy Window. He gets that kill. They kill Pox as well, who was playing with him, trying to get that refrag because they take control of Trophy Stairs and Solarium, and Pox was not aware of that. And at that point, it was, it was Honor to get those picks that they need to, make their way into sight, and just kill the rest of the members. They didn't get a plant down even at that point.
They've certainly, they have Office down. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Honor appear to be the masters of attacking that office site. It's just the other two bomb sites that seem to be a little bit beyond them so far. When it came to Bar, they've had that tried and true Honor stall that we've seen in those other attacking bomb sites. They got outside a library, but weren't able to make much, weren't able to push that far in beyond that. Bone and Nova, neither of them were cleared on the roam. They just held up top and didn't do much beyond that. Zoinker's down below. He was just peeking and winning his fights. And once Bone and Nova had done the work, he didn't really have to do much other than be on cleanup duty. So for Honor, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's taking on that Solarium side, not playing into this library extension if it's stalling them out. But if it is, dedicating a bit more manpower, getting somebody on that library window on top of the stairs. They did have someone there, but they were playing a little bit passive. I'm not sure what the plan is, but it's gotta require a little bit more coordination overall.
Well, let's see how they do it this time. It seems to be the same kind of take. There's two members outside of library. Ferd is playing outside of the coat check, and I see Surf going across the map fast, but usually looks like Surf again is on his own, running around. But nobody's going to the balcony for the moment, so it looks like there's no balcony pressure from Honor. Other than that, there's no real pressure otherwise. It doesn't seem like they're trying to roam clear this office side like they did last time. And Pox with the first Q on the Zoinkers, though. So there's your member of Zoinkers who was playing library last time. He was able to fall down into the site and stay alive. But this time he's caught off guard over in Pillar, is dealt with immediately. But it's just your first start. What is the next step from Honor to take control? Because otherwise, they can't just sit outside these windows and expect the kills to come to them.
They certainly can, but getting that opening pick, now they should have a little bit more momentum to work off of. Also have some intel on Nova peeking that main window. Nova's been getting incredibly aggressive so far in this game. Sometimes it's worked, but in cases like that, I don't know if that's entirely the play. Unless Oreo completely whiffs his shots, he'd probably win that with the intel he has. But Nova will rotate back. He'll continue holding downstairs. Meanwhile, up top, Honor going for their same library clear. Pox and Axe both on Honor. Course, starting to move in, starting to get a little bit aggressive to acquire this map control, but Bone's still alive up top. Nova's still alive down below. They're starting to make their way in, but are they stalling out once again?
Nova hit an air jab too, and nobody plays off the air jab. Finally destroys that drone too. So they have intel on these players, but nobody's acting on any intel. As I say that, Surf though acts on the intel he has and kills Bone. So there's that top floor control that they need. A bit slower this time around, but they get it done. They get those kills they need. Now it's just down to the players on site, and Nova who's off site. So the last two players of Devil GXD are on site. They're gonna get pressed on by his players upstairs. Nova gets his own kill onto Oreo, so there's one player downstairs, but the main door is down. Nova though gets refragged immediately. Further gets a kill. It's down to Devil GXD. Further's been down inside a coat check. GXD's trying to finish off the kill, but there's one dead window who could easily take him out if he gets too aggressive.
Problem here for Honor. You might be wondering, well, yeah, it's 2v4. Surely there's no problem. Well, there's a C4 in the hand of GXD, and currently 3 people pushing from this library side. Not able to find any just yet, and GXD's actually getting a little bit aggressive. He'll use that C4, won't find anything, so I was counting on him playing a little bit more reserved, but as he was peeking, he'll get caught by a nade, giving away his position. It's all on Devil. He's managed to drop the diffuser, almost could drop one as well with the pre-fire, but now he's out of ammo. He's got to switch to the secondary. The Bearing 9 might be a little bit better, but it can't take on a 1v3, especially if you waste half your mag, putting it into a cement wall. Honor managed to bring these back, fix some of their issues thanks to a late entry from Surf, and they regain the lead once again.
Kind of scary there. A good Honor to get those picks, but it seems like they're just waiting. They're waiting for OCG to make mistakes before actually making a play happen, which has been happening in a couple of these rounds, and I'm kind of scared. But at the same point, OCG, Honor's still taking 3 rounds so far in their attack. They're looking to take a 4th and make it a 4-2 half as we go on to Kitchen and Dining. And yeah, last time we played Kitchen and Dining, they took control of Solarium. They sat in Solarium, and that was really it.
Yeah, that was kind of the story of that round, wasn't it? Not much beyond that. But it appears that Honor have made progress. I asked the question, are Honor stalling out? Well, the answer was no. About 3 seconds after I asked that question, Surf manages to come in with the frag, and he's able to pull things out. Or Honor as a whole are able to pull things out after that. If that's the trend we're following going into the final round, which should, on paper, be a culmination of all the adaptations and effort by the attack so far in this 6-round half, this could be a round where they're able to continue on with that momentum. But OCG, they've also been looking to make some adaptations in their previous office round. While it didn't end up working out, OCG were looking to get a little bit more aggressive. In that last round as well, while it didn't work out, OCG were still getting a little bit aggressive, continually holding on that office side, not wanting to rotate back. Has been working out for them. Surf managed to get the entry, but if just a couple more gunfights go OCG's way, wouldn't be surprised if, aided by Amira on this extension up top, they're able to make a few of those gunfights go their way and potentially the round by extension.
Let's see what happens here. It seems like they're maybe relying Surf to get those entry picks on an off angle by himself, which seems a bit unreliable. Especially we talked about, in critical points, Cookie's talked about that Surf was the question mark right now for the team. So the fact that he's the one entering, and that's kind of the game plan, it seems like, for us so far in Chalet, kind of iffy. Don't know exactly. Hard to say what happens here. Surf again by himself, sitting on that same rappel as per usual when it comes to clearing up this top floor. He's shooting through that bathroom window, and Bone looking to play aggressive and deal with that, but there should be an air jab or a Claymore. Claymore exactly right there to try and deny him from doing so. So Surf's got his window covered, but he could also jump out of, he could jump out of the library window. That seems like more aggressive, more crazy run out than jumping out the coat check window. Then we'll see what happens here and what Honor is planning to do this round.
So far, their plan seems to be the same Solarium attack they've done about 4 times now. You have Axe down below, holding inside a trophy. Surf all the way across the map, holding a long angle into bathroom. And then Pox and Ferda planning to rappel into Solarium. And it's OCG continuously being the ones to make adaptations. The mirror window up top can look at this perfectly. While they don't have any bathroom control or really holes opened up that'll allow Ferda to move on in, they're still in a good spot to try and counter this aggression on the top floor. There's a C4 down below as well. If Axe maybe falters on the coverage for just a little bit, that could be one of the nails in the coffin. Minute 30 in. It's still all quiet for the defense, but the kills should start rolling in momentarily if Honor are ready to make the move.
Well, so far, it looks like they're waiting for some kind of push from OCG. Members are sitting inside a bedroom, sitting inside a bathroom, and waiting for something to happen. Looks like there's also members like Oreo still on the window, too. Like, these members like Oreo and Ferdo are just sitting here. Surf is the only member, I think, that's actually pushing in and trying to take fights off of maybe intel that he's gathered himself. Hard to say, but there's also, barbed wire on the stairs, so they should hear him walking up those stairs momentarily. GXD will smoke up that jump in from Axe, so he can't jump right into trophy straight away. And it looks like Nova's still upstairs. Nova gets the first kill on the Surf as I thought he was coming up those stairs. C4 off. Nova goes down, finished off by Oreo. And so far, yeah, Honor is slowly but surely, now they're trying to make something happen. And this could be a perfect chance for Bones to get aggressive on these members of Trophy.
Not only for Bone to get aggressive, well, I was going to say for GXD to use his utility, but Axe manages to take him off the board, and then Zoinker's going huge. A second kill onto Axe, the refrag on the member who killed the smoke. Pox getting the bomb down. There's not much utility. There is a C4, but Devil's still above. He's not able to use it, and nobody from the defense contests until the bomb's already down. Zoinkers gets his third, but as he pushes up, there is Axe for the counter. Sorry, there's Pox for the counter. Somebody for the counter at the very least. Might have been Oreo, but either way, Bird is a dead man. It's Oreo last alive in a 1v2, or last actively up on the floor and able to counter this bomb, or counter the defuse. Devil starting, going down. There's Bone to pick it up, as you said, getting aggressive on that angle. He'll finish off one, steal the kill from his teammate, OCG. They end the half 3-3 as Honor. It seemed in round number 6. It wasn't a culmination of their efforts, but it was a motif carrying through, being Honor stalling out inside a Solarium for the third time in a row.
Yeah, it seems like they're just trying to slowly make their way. They wait for aggression from OCG, wait for OCG to make mistakes, and then they act on it, which isn't the most reliable sense because OCG didn't really make any mistakes, any misaggression that round. So Honor, they get some picks making their way from Trophy into sight. They get that plant down, but they don't have the necessary coverage. They never took control of Master Bedroom for that top floor vertical play. So at that point, it was a straight on just dealing with OCG horizontally, taking on those fights. And these members, they win a tremendous advantage. They take fights, they lose them against OCG, and end up winning that counter defuse for OCG. So good job OCG on that. Not sure exactly how Honor has been playing this, but they're playing it very weirdly. But we're going to the defense half. We'll see how they play defense rather than attack.
Don't have to worry as much about stalling out on the defense, so they can, at the very least, thank somebody for that. Just be happy that you don't have to worry about actively pushing forward. You do want to set the pace on the defense, but you don't have to set the pace nearly as much on the attack if you want to try and take away your rounds. On a side like Dining and Kitchen, we didn't even see that much aggression from OCG. We saw it a bit later in the round with the Zoinkers going for the peaks. But OCG, all they really did was set a couple mirror windows up here, sit behind them, and Honor were stunned. They weren't sure what to do. Depending on how OCG played, it appears we've had a little bit of a role swap on the side of OCG. GXD he has played Hard Breach before, back in T3, but when he came into CL, he's playing more that Zero, that Nomad, more the flank watch role. He's taken up Hard Breach, and it appears that Devil has moved to that sort of role. Lion, often the flank watch operator we see. Bone and Nova are still on the entry, of course, but it does appear to be a little bit of a shift on the side of OCG, just like we saw on Okami.
A little bit of role changes. See if they can change it up. See how it factors into their attacks. As they're making this library push as per usual, taking control of top floor, and they're not doing a Solarium push like you saw from Honor. They're making a library push, making a a south to north push, take control with the drone out, figure out who's playing here on steady stairs. Make sure nobody can flank up library. Make sure nobody can flank up library stairs or flank up fireplace stairs. As they open up holes and make sure they can hold those and deal with people who are downstairs in the basement if they were to aggress later on in the round. Honor at this point, hey, it looks like Pox is going to get that, see that wall open up into office, and now they're aware that these long angles are open for OCG to try and deal with these players who are roaming.
OCG have always struggled a little bit, obviously. Of course, they're not struggling with the opening pick. Nova's able to find Pox on the mute, but one saving grace for OCG, even in their game, their very sloppy game against Okami last week, was their drone structure. It's actually been fairly solid, and I think that's demonstrated by how quickly they managed to take library control and move into pillars, as opposed to Honor. For Honor, they were, at this point, they were still outside of library. They hadn't even moved on in. OCG, they've swiftly moved their way in, found Pox. Now they're getting stopped a little bit by the utility, but they're at the very least much farther at this point than their opponents were at this very same time. If they're able to clear out that Aruna Gate and push the rest of Honor back to Solarium Stairs, it's not all said and done. They still have some ground to cover, but they'll have made it farther than Honor ever seemed to do, taking this side of the map.
Yeah, if they can open this wall too, as long as they get the mute chamber off of that dining wall, Nova looking to do that right now, they could make this play happen. They have control of fireplace, they have control of top floor. They can create these long angles. If they can get that plan down, Honor would be hard pressed to try and just deny them from, or either disabling the diffuser or denying them from getting the fuse off. There is at least, there's the yokais in the hands of Honor. That's the only real denial they have at the moment. But the mute chamber is still there, so this is the big thing. I'm waiting for Nova to destroy that mute chamber so they can get this wall open, and so far, OCG are kind of slowing down there.
are slowing down a little bit, but they've opened up the wall directly on the site, and GXT will likely move on in to get a plant, but not if Axe has anything to say about it. He domes GXT all the way from across the map back on Solarium Stairs, and on this long angle with the UMP 1.5, sure, it might not be the greatest gun in the game, but he has the angle at his disposal, and a powerful one at that. Devil will move to pick up Zoinkers, making this a 4v4. Bone acquires some intel knowing that Surf is playing on the back Solarium Stairs. This is who he's trying to tackle right now. He has this control up top. He has to worry about the Jaeger, but he can try and cover a plant from Devil and watch the cross. It's not going well so far. Doesn't spot the Yokai. Doesn't spot Axe either. Doesn't spot any of Honor making the play. They're able to move on forward. OCG had so much control at their disposal, but it was the players on the site, some old, some new, but all working together to hold the push back.
Oh, this could be a defensive side Chalet, or at least more even one compared to what we see on this map, but OCG, like you said before, they had control of top floor. Well, they didn't have full control of top floor, but they control master. They control office. They open those walls into site, into upstairs, and push those honor players back. But even those honor players are pushed back so far, they had 1.5s in their hands, and they still could take fights with members who had 2Xs all the way down in fireplace from the side of trophy, from the hallway into kitchen. So honor with those, playing those those anchor roles, are still able to take fights and win them against players who are pushing into sight. Maybe a smoke would be nice there, something from OCG to try and shroud their way into sight, but they had nothing in their disposal, it seems like, unfortunately, so they weren't able to match them. And the Axe, Surf, Ferna, able to just take fights and win them with his 1.5, so great job to Honor. We go to Games and Bar for our next defense, and Honor looking to hold off this library for as long as possible that you saw from OCG.
Oh, sorry, we'll take back what I said earlier. I said Devil might have moved to flank watch, but obviously based off that round alone, that was wrong. But now the fact that he's on Sledge and Zoinkers is on 0, imagine Zoinkers is more on the flank watch role, and Devil has moved all the way up to flex frag. Siege really, North American Siege really loves their flex frag IGLs right now, it feels like. It feels like half the IGLs at this point are now on, like, Sledge.
Could be. Yeah, maybe it's a shift in roles and a shift on who's IGLing from which role. It used to be always support, but now it's maybe it's changing up as we go along into a faster attack.
Devil certainly has the passion to IGL from that role, so not gonna knock him until we see it. Of course, that round was overall up until the very end. Sometimes it is a problem with that site. You push him back to Solarium, but you've just gifted them a long angle as they've rotated back. But overall, it seemed that leadership was solid in the early to mid round. But now Nova is creeping up Solarium or West Main Stairs. Might have been a call by Devil, if anybody, or just initiative taken by Nova. Pox doing some destruction will open the hatch potentially to rotate himself back down. But at least for the moment, yeah, he's gonna rotate back. He hears Nova coming, and he's like, nope, I'm gonna head back home. I'm good. You take bar.
Well, what is OCG trying to do? Looks like they're roaming and clearing upstairs, but they also have Nova pushing quickly and pushing back that roam by kitchen. So if they they're opting to maybe try and bypass them and go downstairs, but there are members, upstairs aggressing into office. So this could be maybe a two-sided push as Nova's back upstairs with them. So they are looking to push just as you would into this defense, as there's a shield inside of trophy. Well, not shield, sorry. There's a shield over by, fireplace. And there's a shield inside of library stairs or books facing that way, so they're facing this roam head first in the utility. The question is, can they deal with that utility?
And this is the question on the board. They have everything at their disposal. The Yana, the Zofia, the nades on the Sledge, the exothermics in the hands of GXD, a lot at their disposal to deal with this, to deal with everything. That Yana clone for the Aruni gates, perfect counter to the Aruni, but even then, despite all that going their way, teams can often seem to get stuck on the shield on library stairs. Not OCG, they're able to take it down, but as often happens, the player only rotates back. He continues to push the issue, and if they're not able to account for that, and Nova maybe slacks a little bit on watching West Main, might very well find a kill before he fully rotates back.
Also the intel of the Yokais too, so they can give, you still have Oreo on the Yokais, on the Echo, playing aggressive, making sure you can tell where these people are at, so they can play aggressive. I say that Surf peaks at the right time, gets one, gets two, and that is exactly why those Yokais are so important. Axe on the other side too, plays with him, kills Devil, and now it's GXD and Zoinkers now in a 2v5.
GXD and Zoinkers certainly have their work cut out for them, but it's going to be difficult, especially since Ferda's moved back up top. Zoinkers in the 1v5. His work might be cut out for him too, but a 1v5 is beyond the grasp of many players in Challenger League. He'll get one before he's finished off, but Honor, I don't know, Benny, if you said it was a defender-sided Chalet. It certainly seems like it might be so far, but whatever it is, Honor have it figured out on those two sites.
I would say big thing too is the fact that that round was big on the defense, like especially because they have the yokai on from Oreo, just giving so much information. Surf able to get 2 kills off of that yokai, off of the information. So even though OCG were able to give it the utility, the aggression, the timed aggression from Honor was perfect.
Timed aggression from Honor was perfect. Surf able to peek back up. They had 3 players, 2 actively, or at least in a position to actively watch the push back up library stairs. 1 player at library window, or sitting on top of the library stairs at the window, able to watch in, to look, to see, hey, somebody might be pushing up. And he wasn't able to see them because Surf was landing his shots all the way back on the stairs, and nobody coming in from Piano was able to counter it. He got both of them. So at that point, once you've lost that, you either relied on Surf rotating back, or hey, Surf just simply won his fights. There's not much they can do at that point, and that's what Honor's been doing. It's been that calculated aggression. It's been that unpredictability sometimes. It was a little bit in round 1 on the defense, not too much, but in the second defensive round, oh boy, was it on display.
Yeah, especially the fact that like even if they push and try to push Surf off of that, they still have Axe on the left playing pillar as well behind his shield that they hadn't destroyed yet too. So this is just like, it's so difficult, especially you talk about radical displacement. Like the yokai was so good for that exact reason. Having the yokai jump up in the air, cause them to look left, maybe even momentarily, is enough for Surf to peek and get those kills.
They cleared out one of the biggest shields on library, but yeah, as you said, leaving pillar alive or not able to clear out pillar, a bit far beyond their capabilities at that point. Now, Honor have won 2 rounds. Won the 2 defensive rounds. If they're able to get the hat trick, complete round number 3, get all the sites, they're looking good. Not only will they move to match points, but I think we could say, for without a shadow of a doubt, sure, maybe Chalet attack might not be their bread and butter. If they can win this, Chalet defense is certainly up their alley. For this side in particular, we are moving to Master Bedroom and Office. They aren't defending it with the Aruni that you would normally see, that is so commonly played on Chalet. They also, they just don't have an Aruni. They have a Vigil. Complete opposite in terms of utility.
Yeah, they're bringing something different this time. No, it's bringing a Vigil on further. Further's been playing pretty good so far. 6-3 for the moment. Looking to play aggressive on this defense on the Vigil. Where is he going to play? We're on the top floor defense, and we just saw from the side of OCG, they played downstairs as well. And so, of course, we see Pox downstairs. And the big part of Honor's attacks on this defense site was that Solarium push.
Right.
Further again, we talk about aggression. He's already killed Bone. Bone zone's been neutralized within the first 20 seconds.
I suppose we are not seeing the Bone Zone in this round. Just make a note of that real quick.
Write it down in my notes real quick. They ain't seeing it.
No Bone Zone. Not today. All right. Cool. So yeah, not only do you lose Bone, great operator, but Yana as well. That could be a bit brutal. You do still have plenty of utility, but Yana's just someone with such a good kit. Zofia might have a little bit of a better one, but still gonna hurt a lot not having those nades of that Gon 6.
Yeah, there's a lot that they don't have right. It's interesting that we see OCG going for that south to north take rather than going for, maybe that Solarium take yourself from Honor that was so impactful every single time they take the site. But they are already at this wall into Office. Of course, they'll magnify where that electrical is, and now the question is, how do you get rid of the electrical? Do you go below? But guess what? There's someone below of Pox playing inside of Dining for at least for as long as possible. He's going to make it difficult for these players, and Furter's still on the roam as well. He's actually now down with Pox, and even then, looks like they're able to short electrical and get the wall open. But the question is still C4 below that they should probably deal with for trying to go for a plant.
Yeah, we saw from Honor, they obviously would take over by Solarium. Oreo manages to find a kill on Nova. That's your Zofia down, so if we're talking about utility, all but gone at this point. But for OCG, they don't have anybody inside a trophy. There's plenty of opportunity for a C4 from below if the defense wants to go for it. They have 2 in their hands. Surely 1 will be attempted by the end of this round. OCG, they are all stacking on this side, and it's a 5v3. You can see how well that's going for them so far. Devils at the office door, knocking on side of Ego. Flash will go in. Oreo takes a bit of damage, but he still has this angle. The smoke gives a little bit of information to him. He catches GXD on the cross. On the rotate in, he's able to get the bomb down. Look at how many defenders are actively moving around this position. He's able to move off successfully, but he's a dead man walking, trapped in that position. So are the rest of OCG, locked in with Honor inside the site. They're the beast in this round. Axe, he can go for the defuse because there's 3 members on the defense ready and waiting to cover him should Devil come to try to reclaim the site. He's quickly fallen. Honor, they will win 3 in a row, and they just have to win 1 more to end this 7-3.
Oh, unfortunate for OCG.
One
that
letter
round.
off.
Getting picked off early from Ferda. Then another pick from the side of Oreo. So that's 2 members dead. And you're in a 3v5. You're able to get the wall open and make the execute. So because you never cleared out dining, at that point you say, hey, let's try and plant long. So of course GXE throw the smokes, or one of the members throws smokes, and they smoke out office, allow him to push in. But the question is, at that point they see him walk in, they know where he is, so they just need to deal with his cover. The members of Honor work together to deal with that cover, kill the planter, and make it a 1v5 in a post plant, which is almost impossible at that point, especially because how far the bomb was too, all the way inside of office. Unfortunately, OCG tried to work what they had at that point because they were down members and utility. And unfortunately, the collapse from Honor is just you're down 2 members trying to fight back against an extra 2. Not very possible.
And on Kitchen, this was the site that was the closest for OCG when it came to a round win. They got the bomb down, which is more than really most times in this match. I think Honor got it down twice. But so beyond those couple times, that was the 3rd in the game for OCG. But it was a really sloppy post plant overall, like an extremely sloppy post plant from OCG. So moving here, this is tough for OCG. They've used their timeout, didn't really help all that much. It seems, at least for what's happening with OCG, they got stalled out extremely and lost a lot of gunfights early on last round. So for what they're supposed to do here, it's almost like, what do you do? Their adaptation is to bring a Jackal who, while he does have smokes, it's not like Honor have been roaming too aggressively. They've just been chilling in these setups. It might give them intel if they catch some wayward footprints, but in terms of adaptations and op lineup, I don't think it'll help OCG all that much when it comes to dismantling Honor's extensions.
Well, the aggression last round was merely Ferda, and that was the only round in the 3 rounds so far that Ferda was playing aggressive. So the Jackal may have been brought to try and deal with him, but Ferda this time isn't even playing aggressive. Maybe, that's true. He's playing on site this time as a Rooney. So I don't know exactly if they brought Jackal just in case, just to deal with it, just in case it happens. But so far, there's no real aggression from Honor when it comes to besides that 1 round, which was last round when he was playing Vigil. So let's see what happens. Big thing about this round last round was the fact that they opened up these walls, opened up these angles. They didn't really push it until later in the round, didn't take control really first. They tried to deal with the players in Trophy and let Honor just play these long angles in sight and deny them pushing into sight because they didn't have smokes left to try and smoke their master presence walking in. So at this point, of course, it's always to open up the office wall. The question is, are they going to try and aggress and kill these roamers, or are they going to let Honor pull back and let them wait for the plant into dining?
This was the problem. Honor pulled back on Solarium Stairs, and all they did was hold long angles. And again, OCG are not pressuring the side of the map whatsoever. It could change. GXD is getting the site wall. There's still 1:30 left, so plenty of time to rotate over. Well, Pox is going for a flank. We'll hope somebody on OCG is watching it, but right now, they're all 5 stacked on this same side of the map as they've been every single round prior, it seems. They're not contesting these long angles. Axe will even trade with Devil, both members being taken out, but that's not what you need. You've got the kill, but it's still another kill going the way of Honor. Sure, you've lost Axe, who's a strong player, but that soft destruction you could have acquired. Holes open up above the site, no longer a factor. Now OCG, they have to rely on Nova's secondary shotgun since they can't use that sledgehammer anymore, and he's not long for the world either. Ferda's pushing up. The Jackal, who could have countered the aggressive play from Ferda, is nullified. No longer a factor. So when you look at OCG, they have the site wall open. Bone's going for an aggressive play, but if Ferda's able to kill him here, which he can, despite Bone able to land some shots, this is looking like 4 rounds in a row, and a win for Honor. GXD put on the floor, and Zoinker's the flank watch in a clutch situation. He doesn't have the intel. He doesn't have the wherewithal. Really anything and going his way right now to try and make this work. He'll rotate back, try to pick up GXD, but there's Ferda with his 3rd. It was a close half for Honor, but come the second half of the match, not a nary of willpower